Hi everyone, good day once again. My name is Taiwo Oluwasami. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Same as the name. Please do well to subscribe, like, share, and comment on our edifying videos. So today we'll be asserting ourselves on the life story of Anna. So we'll be exerting ourselves on how we are going to navigate in fulfilling our purpose through the scriptures. But our case study for today is Anna. Now let's do a quick introduction of who is Anna. Anna is the daughter of Phanuel from the tribe of Asher. If you are familiar with the priestly people and those that officiate in the priesthood during the times of the Israelites and the Levites. So Anna was one of the descendants of the priestly people, and she is also a widow. She was a widow at a very tender age, and this actually shaping her to be more consecrated and in fulfilling the purpose of God for our lives. So that is a quick introduction about who Anna is. So but let's quickly run through our lessons. So Anna is a prophetess. She operates in the ministry gifts. She actually operates in the ministry gifts that God actually set for the church. And another major thing that drew my attention to the story of Anna was she is a woman that doesn't allow her pain to shape her. That's one of the things that we learn from the life of Anna. Even though she lost her husband, she didn't deny, she didn't say, "Oh, because I lose my husband, I just that." But rather, this thing actually shaping her and make her to be more consecrated, make her to be more devoted in the service of God. So I don't know which challenges you're passing through. I don't know what you're facing right now, but I want you to know there is a message in your mess. God can actually create a message out of your mess. And that is what happened in the life of Anna. She was a widow. Can you just imagine someone that just lost her husband at a tender age? And since that time that she lost her husband, she has been devoted in the temple. The Bible makes us to understand that she did not leave the temple. She's there in the morning, she's there in the afternoon, she's there in the night, day and night, worshiping God, rendering offerings, rendering services to God. So that is another thing that we need to learn, that in our services to God, our services to God goes a long way. Because I believe that because she was going to the temple, offering services to God, doing what she's supposed to do, she forget her grief. And that is why the Bible makes us to understand that in our weaknesses there is grace. That is, the grace of God is sufficient for us. In every situation that we might find ourselves, in everything that we might pass through, the grace of God is made available. And we can see how evident the grace of God is in the life of Anna. We can see how God actually helped her. We can see among those that were custodians when of what God is going to do later for mankind, she was part of them. She was part of those that could see ahead. Oh, God is going to bring salvation towards mankind. God is going to redeem mankind through giving us his beloved son. It was Anna the prophetess and Simeon that made it known to us. They were like a custodian. So I'm putting another lesson that we should learn to do is we should be part of God's army. And another way we can be part of God's army is when we give us our lives, when we set our lives aside to be used. And that is why the book of Second Timothy was talking about vessel unto honor, that those who have consecrated themselves to be used, to be those who have set themselves aside to be used for the master. And that is one of the things that actually stand out for Anna. She separated herself for God to use her. And that's really shaping her, and that's really made us today to look into the account of Hannah. Another thing that we need to know is that she has a personal relationship with God. So it is very important as children of God that we should always have a personal relationship with God. Personal relationship with God go a long way. And that is another thing that can help us to pull through. Because if you really have a personal relationship with God, God will reveal, and that is why the Bible makes us understand that He reveals His secrets to those who fear Him. It is only those who fear God that God will reveal His secret to, and that is it. And that is why most times say, oh, this man is saying, oh, God told me this. Hey, how am I not hearing that God told me this? Because God only revealed his secrets to those who are committed, to those who have set themselves to be used for God, to those who have devoted their time, they've devoted everything. That oh, this life that I live, I'm going to live it to fulfill the plan and purposes of God. Like I will always say rather, like I will always say, it doesn't matter where God has actually positioned you. Look at in the case of Ezra. Ezra was actually positioned in the king's palace, and it is from the king's palace that he bring about redemption. It was in the king's palace that he was telling the king, oh, we need to rebuild the temple. And can you see how God bring everything into fulfillment? They have to rebuild the wall. Because of what? Because in every place that God has actually positioned us as children, He actually put us there for a purpose. And whatsoever things we are passing through, God is always putting a message from our mess. Look at it. Anna was a widow. She was a widow. She might have said, oh, I'll be grieving. Oh, am I going to? That means I'm not going to have a child. That means, oh, I'm not going to have a child of my own. But she didn't look at those things. She didn't look at those things, but she looked on to God. She's an example of those that the Bible makes us to understand that looking on to Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith, she actually looked up to God. That okay, right now I don't have a husband again. Okay, I'm going to bring in my duties I'm going to render as a wife. I'm going to commit it into the services of God. She devotes her time. She's a worshiper. She's a worshiper. And being a worshiper means she actually worship God in spirit and in truth. She worshiped God in spirit and in truth. So even in our journey with God, even on the process of we fulfilling the purpose of God for our life, we should not neglect the place of spiritual practices. That is worshiping God, reading, and again she lived a life of fasting and prayers. And that is why in the book of Luke, the Bible makes us to understand that men ought always to pray and not to faint. That is why in the book of James, the Bible makes us to understand that the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. And that is when we can be a custodian of the promises of God. That is when we'll be able to stand out in that phase at which God has actually called you to be. So if you really want to live a life of purpose, you must not neglect your spiritual practices. You must not neglect your spiritual principles. And what are the spiritual principles? Your fasting, your praying, your study of the word, your giving, a life of service. So it is very important for us that even as well as we go on our fulfilling purpose, we should not be overclouded. We should not forget that even as we are fulfilling this, our personal relationship with God still need to be intact. And that is why when Paul was preaching, he said, even if I myself should not be a castaway. Don't let us forget that Paul, apostle, was going on and fulfilling the plans and purpose of God because he was sent to the Gentiles. And he's saying now that even as he preached, that he himself should not be a castaway. So that shows us the importance of our personal relationship with God. And I think our center point lessons for today in the life of Anna is our personal relationship with God should be intact. A personal relationship with God should be intact. And I pray that God is going to help us even at this time, at this present time, that we will not toil, we will not joke with our personal relationship with God. And that is one of the key lessons that we can learn from the life of Anna. That we can learn from the life of Anna. Another key point that we can actually lay hold on is from whatsoever things you are passing through, there is a hidden treasure of God's message there. So whatsoever challenges you're facing, God has a message in your mess. So please do well to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Taiwo Oluwasami. Like, share, comment, share with your loved ones so that we can be able to grow this community. Bye. Till I come your way next time. Love you guys. Thank you. Bye.